Hello. I thought it would be fun to do an underwater scene. This fish is done in watercolour and oil pastel, so it's really nice bright colours. But you could try it in Sharpie pens or felt pens if you wanted to. I've lightly drawn the fish in pencil, but I'm going to go over it in oil pastel to show you the shape. So it's up to you if you want to do pencil first or just go straight in with the oil pastel. So the shape of the fish is an oval and it's in the center of the page. So with the oil pastel, I'm just going to draw this ovally shape. So down towards the tail. So just following around this nice ovally shape. And then the mouth, you could just draw a smiley mouth if you wanted to. I've kind of drawn the lip shape of the mouth here. And then for the fins, I've swapped to a different colour and done this nice purpley colour. And all we're doing with the oil pastel at the moment is outlining. And the lovely thing about then painting, when you come to paint with the watercolour, because you've already done all the outlines, the paint stays inside the shape. So it just makes it nice and easy to do. So at the moment, I'm just going to outline all of these shapes. That's the main outline of the body done. Just going to outline the eye. It can be a bit tricky with oil pastels sometimes, getting the point. So you can either sharpen it to a point or use the flat ends. That's quite helpful. So just finish off around the eye. Draw in where the gills are going to go. And then we can just go over the scales. So you could leave your scales so that they are kind of joined together, or you could do them so that each one is separate. I did mine separately so that I could do each one a different colour and not worry too much about the colours running into each other. So we're just going to work our way down the body, outlining all of these scales. That's all of the scales done. Then if you want to add some bubbles, I'm just outlining them in white. They'll show up when we put the background on. And then the seaweed. So really with seaweed, you could do any shape you like. I like to make it look quite nice and wavy, like it's floating around in the sea. So again, I'm just outlining the seaweed, and you could make up any kind of design you like, or you could leave it with no seaweed if you wanted just a blue background. So this one, I kind of drew the lines in the middle and then added on some extra bits afterwards. And I did this just by doing quick flicky marks. So it makes this seaweed look nice and kind of feathery and like it's floating in the water. And just carry this on along the green lines that we did, or whatever colour lines you decide to do. So that's all the outlining done. So we're ready to paint now. So you could do whatever design you liked on your fish. You could use whatever colours you like. I'm just going to use really bright colours like yellow, orange, red and green. And like I was saying before, the lovely thing about using oil pastel is that with the watercolours, you don't have to wait for them to dry. You can just go straight in and start painting, and the colour will stay inside the shape. So you can just work your way along, try out different colours and fill in all the scales. So I've got a few more scales done. I'm just going to go back and paint around the eye. Just doing nice green on that outer rim, and then in the inside of the eye, I'm going to go more for like a turquoisey blue colour. This bit here, and then I'm going to let that dry and then do the black in the middle last of all. Just get a little bit more colour on there. And then for the fins, I'm going to change the colour that I'm using slightly. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of yellow at the top, but then I'm going to mix in more of a purpley colour. So just getting a purple colour together, and then I'm going to kind of let these colours blend together. So just a bit of yellow at the top and a bit of a purpley colour further along. It's nice bright yellow. But like I say, you could try any colours you like. You could, before you get started, you could try out a few different colours and see what colours you think look good together. So that should run down there nicely. So can you see how those colours just blend together? And then we can just carry on filling in these scales, working our way down the picture. Now we've got all the scales done, we can carry on and finish off the fins. So again, I'm going to go with like a yellowy bit on one side. So getting this nice yellow and then blending it in with a purpley colour. And just letting those two colours run together. So I'm going to do all the fins like this and the tail in the same way. So the yellow first. And then the purple. I've also used the same colours to paint the seaweed. So started off with the pinky purpley colour at the top. And then let that kind of fade into some yellow. And then going to go back to the purpley colour. It's nice if these colours just run together a little bit. Just creates a nice effect on the seaweed. Just going to add a little bit of black inside the eye. Leave a little white mark so it looks nice and shiny. And then the last thing to do is to add the background. To do the background, you need some kind of wash. So I've just got some Brusho paint here, but you could use watercolour if it's nice and watery. You could use any kind of paint really, so long as it's nice and watery, but Brusho just gets a very nice even colour. So if you just dilute it, and then all I'm going to do is just paint in the background. So for this seaweed over here, I'm going to paint around it, and the oil pastel should act as a barrier to stop the blue going inside the seaweed. I'll show you around the bubbles. I'm going to paint around the bubbles. And again, the oil pastel will stop the paint or ink or whatever you use from going inside the shape. The other thing that's really nice about putting the colour on, it really sets off all the other colours that you've used. So if you've covered your fish in really nice bright colours and then you get a nice turquoisey blue background, it really adds to the effect. One of the things I just love about this feathery sort of seaweed is you can just paint over the top and the oil pastel just repels the paint. So you get that nice effect of it looking like it's underwater, but you can fill in all the spaces so you haven't got any white showing. I think it looks really effective, and it's nice to do because you don't have to worry about painting in between all the lines. So here we are back to our finished picture, just to remind you of the overall effect. I hope you have lots of fun doing this, and if you want to send me a picture of your finished work, then you could send it to jan@artkidz.co.uk. Brilliant. Have a great time.